Imagine owning a business where your inventory never goes out of style, where every single customer is genuinely happy to see you. You've seen it. Packed dog parks every afternoon, month-long waitlists around the holidays. It looks like an invincible business model. You picture a low-stress job. The inventory never breaks. The customers are always wagging their tails. But that visible demand is hiding a brutal operational reality. You're not just caring for animals, you're running a high-intensity hospitality engine. One mistake in your infrastructure, or one shift in a local search algorithm, can turn a profitable month into a deep financial hole. To succeed here, you have to look past the romance of the industry. You need to understand the cold mechanics and the cold numbers behind how these businesses actually survive. Before you spend a single dollar, you need to define your engine of revenue. You're choosing between two very different bets: the velocity of service or the stability of the box. The walking model is a bet on human capital. You're selling specialized time. Your overhead is light: insurance, a booking app, and leashes. But your revenue has a hard ceiling. One walker can typically handle somewhere around 6 to 10 dogs a day, and you can only be in one neighborhood at a time. Your growth here depends on managing what we'll call the labor drain. The ongoing challenge of hiring, insuring, and retaining staff who do physical labor outside in every kind of weather. If you want your operation running 24 hours a day, you choose the boarding model instead. This is a heavy infrastructure play. Instead of selling your own time, you're selling a secure, climate-controlled environment. That shift also changes what kind of business you're actually running. Boarding isn't just an extended walk, it's a full custodial relationship. You become responsible for feeding schedules, medication administration, overnight monitoring, and emergency response, all under one roof for animals that aren't yours. That's a fundamentally different level of responsibility than handing a dog back to its owner after 45 minutes. Let's talk about what it actually costs to get into each side of this business. Starting with the cheap one. The walking model has a genuinely low barrier to entry. Business registration and licensing typically run $50 to $500, depending on your state and city. Basic liability insurance and bonding, non-negotiable, since you're trusted with someone's dog and house key, adds another $300 to $800 a year. Leashes, waste bags, a first aid kit, and a scheduling app round out the list at another $100 to $300, plus a small monthly software fee. All in, a solo walker can realistically be licensed, insured, and working for somewhere between $700 and $2,500. That's the entire appeal of the velocity model: low risk, fast entry, and you're earning within weeks. Boarding is a different game entirely. To command premium nightly rates, you first have to survive the build-out, turning a raw shell into a space that has to be, in a very literal sense, life-proof. Total build-out costs for a small to mid-size facility commonly run $50,000 to $200,000, and full ground-up construction can hit $300,000 or more. Here's where that money goes. First, drainage. A boarding facility needs industrial-grade drainage and non-porous surfaces that can be chemically sanitized multiple times a day. Standard concrete or wood will rot or start absorbing odors within months, and that kills the value of your asset. Specialized drainage alone runs $8,000 to $15,000. Kennel-grade flooring adds $7 to $12 per square foot. Call it $15,000 to $25,000 on a 2,000 square foot space. Add the plumbing, and hospitality-grade flooring and drainage together land in the $20,000 to $50,000 range for a mid-sized facility. Cut corners here, and it's usually the first thing that bites you. Second, and most overlooked, the air. Animals generate heat, moisture, and particulates fast, so a high-density facility needs industrial air conditioner moving thousands of cubic feet of fresh air every minute. It's your main defense against the spread of illness, the biggest risk to your occupancy. Industrial-grade air conditioning system is typically around $50,000. It's the difference between premium experience and liability. Now the outdoor space. Backyard playtime means commercial-grade fencing, not the chain link your neighbor put up. That's $20 to $40 per linear foot installed, so a modest 200 to 300 foot perimeter runs $6,000 to $12,000. And then there's security. Every serious facility runs cameras for liability and peace of mind. Covering kennels, yards, and common areas typically costs $3,000 to $8,000 installed. Inside, you're buying the animal's living space. Commercial-grade kennel enclosures run $300 to $1,000 each, but let's call it $10,000 for a realistic startup for 15 kennels. Add durable, chew-resistant beds at $30 to $80 a piece, and that's another $1 to $2,000. Add it all up and you're back in that $50,000 to $200,000 range we opened with before you've hired a single employee. Once the doors are open, what we'll call the invisible ledger starts eating your margin. And it looks very different depending on which model you picked. For the walking model, this ledger is light. Ongoing liability insurance runs $40 to $130 a month. Gas and mileage add up with every stop, and a scheduling or booking app typically runs another $20 to $50 a month. All in, a solo walker is usually looking at somewhere around $150 to $400 a month just to keep the lights on, which is exactly why this model stays profitable even at low volume. Boarding's ledger is heavier. Running industrial ventilation around the clock and heating water for constant sanitation adds up fast. For a mid-size facility, utilities alone, electricity, water, and gas combined, typically run $500 to $2,500 a month. It's one of the widest ranging costs in this business, so build in a cushion rather than betting on the low end. Then there's the maintenance cycle. Specialized crates, heavy-duty partitions, smart lock systems. The wear and tear is relentless, and it's a steady drip of repair and replacement costs you have to budget for every month, not just at build-out. But here's the number that can crush your margins. Staffing. A boarding facility never really sleeps. You need people covering the morning, evening, and overnight shifts, typically 4 to 6 employees rotating through a mid-sized operation. At roughly $14 to $18 an hour, that adds up fast. 5 employees averaging $16 an hour means roughly $11,000 to $14,000 a month in payroll, before taxes and benefits. That's your biggest recurring expense, your labor cost. The most successful operators figure this out early. You don't build real wealth by selling just one thing. If you're walking dogs, you're selling a walk. If you're boarding them, you're selling a place to sleep. The real money comes from layering revenue on top of the core service. Let's start with walking. A solo walker typically charges around $25 for a 30-minute walk. Mix solo walks with small group walks, where several dogs go out together at a lower price per dog. And an established walker can realistically gross around $250 on a full day. That's solid income. Boarding has an even higher ceiling, but the base overnight rate isn't where the real opportunity is. A typical overnight stay might bring in around $60 a night. Then you start stacking add-ons, a grooming touch-up, extra playtime, medication administration, or even a daily photo update. Each might only add $10 to $30, but stack several together and suddenly you've added $50 or more to a single invoice. And here's why operators love these add-ons. The dog is already there, the staff is already there, so there's very little additional cost to deliver them. But you can take this even further. Instead of selling random extras, package them around the dog's personality. For high-energy dogs, there's the adventure package, short agility and play sessions. Fetch, nature hikes on secure trails. Basically, give the dog its own little off-road adventure. For curious dogs, there's the Explorer package. Think scent work games, what the industry sometimes calls a sniffari, where dogs use their natural instincts to hunt for hidden treats. Add some trick time with simple beginner skills like paws up or basic balance work using positive reinforcement principles. Then there's the comfort package for senior dogs. Slower walks, cuddle time, gentle brushouts, a calming spa refresh. You can also add low-impact enrichment like slow sniff walks or lick mats, activities that keep their minds busy without putting too much strain on their bodies. And the same idea works with cats. That's where feline enrichment comes in. Silvervine sticks for chewing and batting, cat tunnels for hiding and exploring, feather toys that trigger their natural hunting instincts. You could even offer supervised water play with floating toys. And finally, there's something pet parents value more than almost anything: reassurance. So offer a quick video check-in, a live glimpse of their pet wherever they happen to be, because you're not just selling a walk, you're not just selling a night away from home, you're selling peace of mind, and then finding multiple ways to monetize it. So, does a pet care business actually work? Yes, but the math is all about premium loyalty. This is a business with high fixed costs and tight margins. The facility, Utilities, equipment, insurance, and staff all cost money before the first dog arrives. Walking and boarding create the core revenue, but add-ons increase customer value. Skilled staff support premium pricing, and repeat customers create predictable revenue. And your biggest asset isn't the building, it's the density of pet owners around you and their trust. Master the operation, build the reputation, keep them coming back. That's how a local pet care business becomes profitable.